Come on, Mav. Don't think. Just do.
Tell me what you see, smoke in the air! Smoke in the air, smoke in the air, hang on! Yeah, man, splash one, splash one!
Now that was cool. So I was just able to watch Top Gun Maverick in IMAX for the third time now, before they pulled it from the theater. And I gotta say, it is such a fun movie. And it's funny because I think that was the general consensus around the film for people, that it was a good old-fashioned fun watch with no politics or forced agenda. But is that true? I mean, it's an American blockbuster, and Hollywood being so intertwined with American culture and the way America is seen around the world, it seems that even a movie without a message delivers one nonetheless. And this is done more than anything else through the point of view of its star, Tom Cruise. Seeing how big of a player he is in Hollywood, he's in a way a mirror of America's strength, reach, and influence in the world. And just like Cruise, the country has seen better, more youthful days and isn't free from controversy and criticism. With things like falsely motivated wars or political overreach during the COVID pandemic, it's very hard to get into government-funded army movies. But what the movie manages to do is take all of that with awareness and not shy away from it, using lines like,
It's not the plane, it's the pilot.
Despite your best efforts, you refuse to die.
gives us a sense of closeness with the character and his duty, his motivation to fight for his country, and it's very hard to resist. The movie definitely did its job well, and we're also seeing so much memes and content coming out about the film. You know the Navy is going to be hitting their quotas for enrollment for a few years. But that begs the question, why now? And I don't mean why was the movie released at this time, because we know all about the delays from Tony Scott dying and Tom Cruise wanting to see a theatrical release. No, what I think is important to consider is how the American military clearly had something to say about the production and the release. Now, I thought the Department of Defense and the Pentagon were a loving, inclusive bunch. They're essentially now funding a Navy recruitment film? With America so divided and studios constantly using politics nowadays to sell new woke movies, why is Top Gun different? Could it be that things have changed? Not just with Americans, but also all around the world. There seems to be rising tensions and escalating conflicts. The Ukrainian war being one of the main ones. But also China outright banning the movie because it showed a certain flag for a few seconds. Could it be that internally, world leaders know something that they aren't disclosing? With multiple nations increasing their recruitment efforts during the last few months, but at the same time, governments are actively promoting policies that weaken their own nations. One of the famous passages from The Art of War says to appear weak when you are strong and to appear strong when you are weak. It's a common wartime tactic, along with informational warfare, to confuse your enemy and to get a tactical advantage over them. Could it be that America is secretly preparing for some type of conflict, but wants to fake to the world it's actually just keeping a passive role as a strategy? That would make sense, as Russia and China are doing the same, but for them it's promoting their strength and strategic prowess, all while facing economic and social struggles. But then the question is, why all the lies? Why not come clean and promote trade and alliance between other world powers to empower each other? Seems to be that's not how it works. Maybe it's because world nations don't want peace, but cannot admit it. They might secretly hope for World War III as an excuse to win over resources and territories. I mean, you can see for America that even through an army movie, they're still trying to promote their global savior image. In the movie, they just call the enemy the enemy. They purposefully avoid calling out a nation, probably to avoid pissing off China or Russia, who would have been the obvious mark. It almost feels like the world is in a Mexican standoff with each other, but with blindfolds on, waiting to shoot at one another for reasons unknown. But come to think of it, we can sort of start to see the first signs that would point to the actual reasons that would lead us to war. Energy shortages, food shortages, military overstepping, which, when you break it down, comes down to basic needs that no one can escape from: land, sustenance, and electricity. So is it that maybe we've hit a wall when it comes to the abundance we've all benefited from for the past 80 years? I mean, the world seems run by debt. Someone does need to pay the price someday. And it might be that superpowers are waiting for a reason to tear itself apart and reap the bounty and to continue to prosper on their own. That would be why we're seeing a conflicting message in the military strategy of the United States. Playing it off, but secretly preparing for something greater, using movies like Top Gun Maverick as promotional material. Or maybe I'm just reading way too much into a really fun old school blockbuster that shows us how even today, with all the new drone warfare and advanced weapons, we will always need the courage, stoicism, and temerity of heroes to operate and lead that same weaponry. And just like with new movies in general, Top Gun Maverick reminds us that even though things might look bleak for the ecosystem that used to create interesting and innovating action movies, it is still possible to create objectively entertaining, commercially and critically successful, and apolitical blockbusters.
Maverick, your kind is headed for extinction.
But not today.
So these were my thoughts on Top Gun Maverick and on war movies and how they are used as political tools. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe so you can see future movie content I will be posting soon. Thank you.